Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to day 3, where to find paying clients in any economy. I'm Chris Williams. I'm super excited to support you again today. We've had some jam-packed 3 days. Holy cow, actually 2 days. I can't believe it's only, wait, today's Wednesday. Yes, today's day 3. Oh my God. We have had so much fun on these past 2 days. It's just been full, jam-packed of questions. It's been so much fun. I hope that you guys have been learning a lot, taking away some ahas and some golden nuggets, and super excited to welcome you guys back. So we've got Teresa, we've got Christina and Nancy and Jenna. If you guys are watching in the Facebook group, do me a favor, just pop in the Facebook group, #live if you're here with me live, #replay if you're watching the replay. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to pop those in the comments. I promise I will circle back around a couple times after our class today, as well as during the day, to kind of make sure that you've got the support that you need to have your questions answered. So we're diving into some really, really juicy stuff today. And that is, I want to give a little bit of recap for those of you that are just joining me while we're getting people kind of situated and into the Zoom room here. By the way, you are more than welcome to join us inside the Zoom room. Go into, if you've already registered, go ahead into your email. We sent out an email reminder an hour before and then 15 minutes before to make it really easy for you to grab your playbook and click the link and have you in here. So you are more than welcome inside of the Zoom room with me. Day 1, we focused on who your ideal client was. So I'm just going to do a really quick recap. That way, if you guys are watching the replay today or just catching it for the first time, you'll know exactly where to go. So in order to find these replays, so you don't have to keep scrolling through the Facebook group to find them, go to the guides section. There's a little tab at the top of the group when you're on your desktop. It'll say guides. Go ahead into guides, click guides, and it is guide number 1, where to find paying clients in any economy. And right now we've got day 1, we've got day 2 from yesterday. As soon as we finish today, we will make sure that that gets into the guide section. We also have the playbook in there as well. So everything is there nice and organized for you so that you can take a look at it. These videos will only be up until the end of the day on Sunday. So if you're watching the replays, or if you want to go back and watch any of the replays, please make sure that you do that before the end of the day Sunday, because we will be taking those down. Okay, so just a heads up, these do not stay in the Facebook group indefinitely. So I'm glad that you guys are here. All right, where to find paying clients in any economy. Day 1 was all about who was your ideal client. And that was super important, because if we don't know who our ideal client is, we don't know where to find her. So we got to dive deep, ask some questions, do a little bit of homework to uncover really who is our most ideal client. Yesterday, we talked about all of the places that we could find her, where she is in our personal world, where she is in a 1% connection, where she might be in community connections, and then also in the universe. So yesterday we spent brainstorming and talking and answering questions on where exactly to find her now that we know who she is. Today, what we're going to be talking about is what type of value are you going to give her so that you can bring her into your ecosystem? So this is super important. We do not want to skip this step, because just because you go to where she is doesn't necessarily mean she knows who you are, what you are, and there's still not yet that experience of know, like, trust yet. And I want to share an analogy with you. So I want you to think about a mansion, right? If you were living in a mansion and there was a sidewalk and then a beautiful little pathway, maybe with a couple benches along the pathway that led into your house, the mansion is really the way that you are courting your ideal clients to get the transformation that they want. Those are your paid offers. I want you to think about your mansion as your paid offer. Some of your clients might be like, I want the whole shebang. I want the premium treatment. Maybe those are the ones that are meeting you in the dining room for the champagne buffet and the chocolate covered strawberries. That might be one of your offers. Maybe there's another offer that you have, though, that is a little bit more relaxed. Maybe it's shorter. It's more intimate in a community. Maybe that's the client that really just wants to kind of like hang out with a cocktail by the side of the pool with community. Doesn't really matter what the offers are. What matters is that What we're not doing is getting people that are walking along the sidewalk, right? So the sidewalk that goes in front of our mansion, we're not grabbing them and dragging them along the pathway and throwing them into the mansion, right? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's just not the way that we want to do it. And yet, that is the tactic that many coaches are trying to implement. Let me just book a discovery session and sell you into the thing. Let me just DM you, even though I don't know you, even though you have no experience of me, and just sell you my thing, right? We see that all the time. It's a very masculine model of growing and building a business. There's nothing necessarily inherently wrong with it. It's just that it's not helping build any know-like trust. So it might not work for you as a heart-centered entrepreneur and as a wellness entrepreneur. It didn't work for me. I don't use it. That's not what I do. I'm not interested in sending 100 people a day DMs. That's not my jam. That's not the way I roll. The way I like to roll is by actually inviting somebody from the sidewalk along the pathway and give them a couple benches to stop at, right? Before I invite them up on my front porch to actually have a conversation to decide which room in my mansion is going to be the best fit for them. Can you see the difference? It's not trying to convince or persuade or drag anybody into your offer. It's actually building and creating relationships. And so today, what we're going to talk about is the benches that you are going to invite the people to that are on the sidewalk that happen to turn their head because you're in the same room with them. These are the different ways that you want to give them value before you actually invite them to come have a seat up on the porch, on the porch swing and have a conversation with them. Okay. So this makes building your business so much more fun, so much more easy. And it really is playing the generosity game. So if you like how this sounds, I want you to just pop yes in the chat. If you are interested in learning how to do this in a way that feels really good, supportive, and aligned, coming from value, coming from generosity before you pitch somebody, then go ahead and just pop yes in the chat, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're in Zoom here. Great. Yes. Awesome. Then you guys are my people because that's what I'm going to teach you today. So when we've got somebody on the sidewalk, we don't necessarily know whether or not they're absolutely interested yet. And remember, I also shared with you on day one, our most ideal client is sidewalkers, slow lane, fast lane. Now, this sidewalk is a little bit different. The sidewalk in front of our mansion is not the same thing as the sidewalk on the freeway. Sidewalkers along the freeway are really people who have absolutely no interest in solving a problem. And so there's no reason why we would invite them to work with us because they're not interested in having their problem solved, right? The sidewalkers that are in front of our mansion are like, and they turn their head and they look at a bench and I'm like, wow, that is so cool. Like, I would really like to learn more about that. So the benches are going to be the ways that we actually give value and serve so that we can create an experience for them, because that's really what people are looking for. People are looking for an experience. Nobody is going to want to work with you unless they trust you first. Right? That's human psychology. We don't work with people we don't trust. So we want to have a way that we actually can create trust, build trust, but also give people an experience. Because people want an experience, right? We want to feel like we have a sense of belonging. We want to feel seen and heard. We want to know that whoever it is that we potentially work with, whether or not we align with them or whether we resonate with what they're going to teach, right? What we're going to learn from them. So we have to give them some sort of experience. And so let me go ahead and share my screen because we're going to be talking about ways that you can actually do that. What do I do with my glasses? I know I've got a pair of glasses on my head. My husband laughs at me all the time. He's like, you have got like glasses everywhere, glasses on your head, glasses on the, in the kitchen. I actually almost threw, I ordered from Amazon 3 pairs of glasses yesterday and almost threw them away. And I was sitting out on the deck last night doing some work. And he's like, did you mean to throw these away? I'm like, no. And he's like, do you realize you've got a pair of glasses on your head? You're wearing a pair of glasses and you just ordered 3 more. And I'm like, yeah. I got it. Don't throw away my glasses. I've got them like everywhere and they break. So I need them. All right. Day 3. What do they want? Here's the key. when we are offering value, and again, I want you to think about value as a way to invite somebody who's walking along the sidewalk to come towards your mansion and have a seat on one of the benches along the pathway that leads to your house. We have to uncover what it is that they want, not what it is that we think they want, but what it is that they actually want. So yesterday I spoke a little bit about chocolate and broccoli, right? This is what we want to lead with what it is that they want, and they want the chocolate. So we need to figure out what is it that they want solved quickly, and that is the chocolate. So that only comes from thinking about what would be something that they would happily pay for. What would be something that they would happily pay for? We also want to think about when we're creating a valuable freebie. Some people refer to these as lead magnets. I honestly hate the word lead. I don't know about you, but that's just, we need a different name for that. So I typically call, it, free value, free offer, that I can bring people into my ecosystem, because lead just sounds so cold. I'm not interested in leads. I'm interested in relationships. So we want to think about when we're creating some free value to bring people into our ecosystem, we want it to be something that people are absolutely 100% like it's a no-brainer. They are happy to give you their name and email for. Why do we want their name and email? Because as I mentioned yesterday, Facebook owns Facebook, Instagram owns Instagram, LinkedIn owns LinkedIn, all of the social media platforms, they own everything on there, and we don't own any of it. And so even if I have a Facebook community, which I do because you guys are all part of it, if something wonky happened and it got shut down, I wouldn't have access to anybody who's in my community unless I had their name and email in my email list, because you own your email list. So we do want to not only grow our audience and our community online, but we also want to make sure that we grow our email list so that we have a way to continue to support, to continue to nurture, and to continue to build those relationships through email. So when we're thinking about a freebie, we want to think about, would it be something that they would pay for? Would it be something that, is it valuable enough that they would actually pay for it? An example is this 4-day masterclass that I'm teaching. I could easily charge $1,000 for this. The information that I'm teaching here that you guys are walking away with, I could easily put a price tag on it. And sometimes I actually do put price tags on my recording. So I know the value that I'm giving here, and I know that it's something that my ideal clients want because it's what they ask me. Where do I find clients, right? And so it is something that I know is going to be super duper valuable. It's something that I could put a price tag on it if I wanted. But we also want to take a look, especially when we're giving them something that is downloadable, is it repurposable? Is it repurposable? Could they use it more than one time to keep you in front of mind? So this workbook that you have, this playbook, it's downloadable, it's printable. You can refer to this every single quarter if you want. Anytime you want to refresh on where to find paying clients, you could actually go to these questions. So this is repurposable. And that also makes it really highly valuable. And it keeps your name on something that's repurposable in front of them. Okay. It also establishes you as the leader. So could they use it more than one time? Will it help them to create? And here's what we're looking for. We want any type of freebie, free value to help them to create a win, an epiphany, or solve a piece of their problem. It's really darn difficult to solve the whole entire problem in one handout, right? Like it's really hard for me to help you create a 6-figure business in 4 days. Like it just doesn't work that way. I can give you lots of information, but there hasn't been any implementation yet. So, we can solve a piece of the problem. So a piece of the problem that I'm sharing for you today is to uncover I'm actually giving you several pieces. I'm giving you how to uncover your ideal client, how to know where they're hanging out, and also how to create some free value so that you can bring them into your ecosystem. By the way, hello, Megan and Joanna. I just saw your comment inside of the Facebook group. I'm so glad you guys are here. All right, so will it help them to create a win, an epiphany, or solve a piece of their problem? Number 4, is it easy to implement? Is it easy to implement? And number 5, how are you going to actually share it so it's easy for them to get? How are you going to share it so it's easy for them to get? I'm going to answer these questions today, and I'm actually going to take you through, I believe, 21 different high converting freebies. So I've got 21 different ideas. You guys can print it out. You can refer to it anytime you want to create some value that is going to invite somebody who is walking on that sidewalk to come join you on a bench. So I have multiple benches on my pathway so that it takes somebody who is a stranger on the sidewalk to come into my ecosystem, become a viewer, to see, to hear, to have an experience, to see if what it is that I'm even teaching, it resonates with them. Okay. From there, they move into, another stage, which again, for lack of a better word, a potential lead, which is somebody who's even more engaged. Maybe they're showing up to a live training or going to an event that you are, or actually connecting and communicating with you inside your Facebook group, or even attending things more than once. I do master classes a lot, and I have many clients who are consumers that like to come consume the free information for a while before they decide that they actually want to work with me. And that's fine. And if that's you, absolutely come here, enjoy the trainings, take away what works for you, and try to implement it on your own if that works for you. And many times I'll have people that go through any of the trainings 1 time, 2 times, and then they're like, yeah, you know what, I really do need a little bit more support implementing these specific pieces. So remember, your freebie or your value is going to help them start on their journey with information, epiphanies, and wins to solve a piece of their problem. So let's take a look at the 21 types of freebies that attract soulmate clients. Why do I say it's attracting them? Because it's giving them something to get their attention. Okay, they're walking on the freeway. They're going to get you're going to get their attention. You're going to invite them to have a seat on the bench. You're going to give them value, help them to create a quick win. And then if it feels good to them, and if it feels good to you, you're going to invite them to have a conversation with you on the porch swing to see which one of the resources you have, if any, are going to serve them. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So that's more juicy goodness tomorrow. We're going to talk about how do we actually have the conversations when they're up on the front porch to determine, number one, whether it is you even want to work with them, or what resource you have that you could serve them in a way that feels like you're helping them make an empowered decision versus trying to just close the deal. So I'm not about closing the deal. I'm not about trying to persuade anybody at any time to work with me, but I am about making invitations. So we're going to dive into that tomorrow. All right. So this is a cheat sheet. I want you to think about this as an idea generation tool whenever you have to come up with a compelling incentive that is going to attract your readiest clients and give amazing value. Now, remember, this is something that we want to use to attract our people in the slow lane or in the fast lane. Okay. I have many people that are in the fast lane that love my freebies, that love the value, and they will download them multiple times. And that's great. Happy to do that. That's what I create them for. These are not for the people who don't believe that they have a problem. So we want to remember that when we're creating it. The other thing that I want you to think about is some of these things are going to take a little bit more time to create than others. The things that take more time to create, those are not the things that you start with. If you don't have some sort of free value or a freebie or something, I really want you to start with something that takes no more than 2 hours to create. We want to keep it simple. We don't want to keep it complicated. We don't want to be thinking and questioning and over analyzing, everything. So some of these things are going to be things that you could absolutely use right now to create. And some of these things you might want to, if you already have a couple freebies and you already have some things that are working and converting really well for you, you might want to wait until a little bit later. By the way, when we talk about converting, does everybody understand what I mean when I'm talking about conversion rates? Okay, a conversion rate or a conversion percentage is typically how many eyeballs see it and what's the percentage of number that the people who see it actually download it. That's a highly converting freebie. So what we really want to do is a really amazing, highly converting freebie. We want to get up into like 70%. that means that we are like all dialed in and spot on having a piece of free value that out of 100 people that saw it, 70% of those people are going to download it. That means we're talking to our ideal client, right? If only 2 out of 100 download it, we're using, that's not a highly converting freebie. That's not something that's actually speaking to our ideal client. So we're going to want to adjust and shift. Okay, so a 3-part video or mini course. Probably not going to start with that one if you don't have anything, but this is something that will help people who are visual learners because they provide vital information in kind of like bite-sized segments. So you could think of these as very simple, short sessions that you could actually do on your own in Zoom, like record a 5-minute or a 10-minute little segment, and have 3 of them, and you could bundle that together, and that would be something that you could deliver easily inside of your email marketing system. So you are going to need, for much of your freebies, an email marketing system. And that is something like MailChimp. I personally love ConvertKit. I recommend that for all of my clients when they're first starting out. ConvertKit, there's MailChimp, there's MadMimi, there's MailerLite, there's Flowdesk, there's Constant Contact, there's a whole bunch of them. But you need some sort of email marketing system that is going to allow you to collect the name and email address. The system itself houses your freebie and then delivers it. This is not the same thing as a website. Okay, this is something completely different. All right, so another thing is a recording of a download. So for example, a Facebook Live that's been particularly valuable, you could actually download it and keep it forever as a reusable resource. That can be a really major attraction to the right subscriber. So one of the things that I did for a long while was I did a free training. It was called the White Space Workshop, and it was how we actually create white space on our calendar that gives us the time freedom that we need as business owners to allow us to stay in that high vibe. And that was a free recording that I shared as an opt-in, as a free value. Webinar slides. This is also really fun. So the ability to download these. So think about if somebody, and you might have seen this or even gotten these, if somebody is doing a training and they're actually using slides. I rarely use slides. I actually prefer workbooks, which is the next one. But you can give people access to your slides. So if someone showed up for your training, you could say, hey, who wants the replays, or who wants the slides, or who's got the workbook? And that would be a way for you to share value. So one of the things that I will do that you'll hear me do, and you'll see on my Facebook page, my personal page, is, hey, who wants the recordings to, where to find paying clients in any economy? And when somebody responds, then I will invite them to come get the recordings that are right now inside of the Facebook group. Okay, so that's a way to bring people into my world. It is just offering, hey, who wants, did you miss the recording? Would you like the replay? Great, come on into my Facebook group. This is where they're housed. That way they can get that. Workbooks. So workbooks can be used in the same way as your slides. And this also helps to sweeten webinar signups or master classes or even in-person talks, because it is value, right? It's something that people are going to take away with them after the training is over, that they're going to refer to over and over again. And that's one of the reasons why I love workbooks, is because regardless of whether you call it an action guide, a workbook, a playbook, it doesn't matter, but they can be reused over and over again. So the value stays. A free journal. We all love journals, right? So having a visually appealing journal created, you can offer that as a sign-up gift. So think about, a journal that you could even create inside of Canva. So for those of you that are Canva lovers like I am, Canva actually has templates for journals. So it could literally take you 15 to 20 minutes to do your own journal, and you could offer that as a nice opt-in. We all like journals. Tip sheets. So tip sheets are also really, really popular if you make sure that our tips are high value. So remember, whatever tip we're giving, we want to make sure that the tip is actually high value. And you want to also position it so that your tips are really, ones that they would actually pay for. So for example, My daughter Ayla, she is also my VA, and she has started her own VA business. And one of the things that she's putting out there is an entire template for how you can actually create, January 2024 Facebook posts. And so she's got a whole tip sheet, and she also has templates in there so that you can go inside of Canva and make it your own. Well, that's huge. Like, that's something that people would normally pay for, because you don't have to create it on your own, and you can download it and you can customize it. And then there's also tips there. So we want to make sure, again, that the tips are high value, that the tips are actually solving a problem that your ideal client wants, right? So for example, if you're a health coach and your person wants to lose weight, maybe instead of 10 tips to lose weight, it could be, these are 10 ways to boost your metabolism, right? That sounds so much better than, 10 ways to lose weight. Infographics. So these are really fun because they don't have to be complicated. They're easy to create. It's another one that you can use inside of Canva. And it can summarize information. And that can be a huge draw, particularly if it's something that people can print out and keep as a handy reference. So infographics are also really, really fun. There's a lot of different coaches that will do infographics on their process and what falls into the process. It could also be infographics on, this is what a balanced plate looks like, or an infographic on different protein sources, or an infographic on meditation techniques. I get at least one infographic in my email every darn day from people that are sharing that. So not only could you share an infographic as a free value, but you can also include it as more value, that you're nurturing your ideal client in your email list. Resource lists are also really good. So think about tools, maybe a group of URLs that lead to your favorite resources, again, depending on what your ideal client wants. So if you have clients that are looking for organic foods, maybe you could do a list of your favorite organic foods that, or favorite organic snacks, foods, or, certain things that could lead directly to the links that you would recommend. That would be really fun. Another resource list that I've seen that is highly valuable is, many people who are eating out don't really know what is a good substitution or, a best pick. So, having a resource list of, these are all the different restaurants that you could go to, and this is what you could pick to, have a healthy meal instead of, just going through McDonald's. A 5 or 7 day email mini course. So that would be something that you would create a little bit later. It's really popular among people who are text-based learners and don't have a lot of time. So that is something that you could also do. So this doesn't necessarily have a recording with it. It is strictly emails. There's a friend of mine, her name is Laura Conover, Dr. Laura Conover. She actually teaches grounding. She's called the Intuition Physician. She does this a lot. So she'll do mini courses that give, day one, she'll teach something in the email, day 2, all the way up to day 7. So these are really fun and popular to do. You could do a tip of the day. So if people like your posts and respond well to tips you share on social media, you can also give them access to share like a tip of the day. I know many people that'll be like, hey, this is your, your motivational tip for the day, or you could even do a tip of the week or something. Same thing with quote of the day or quote of the week, right? This is for people who are looking for inspiration. Cheat sheets are also really great. So cheat sheets give people instruction on tips on how to get a task done in one place. So think about, using them as a reference for maybe some repetitive tasks whose steps are not necessarily easy to remember. Okay, so if you are a coach or a holistic practitioner that, it wants to, basically what we're doing is we're consolidating the information into one cheat sheet, one tip sheet. That's what I've done actually inside of my Business Basics for 10K months. It's a cheat sheet. It has all of the information on, what falls underneath attraction needle movers, what falls underneath nurture needle movers, and what falls underneath invitation needle movers. Free sample chapters. So for those of you that are writing books, you could actually give somebody a free chapter as a way to come into your ecosystem. Meditations are great. One of my friends, some of you may know her, Sarah V, she does free meditation. So she offers that as a meditation. And I have some of my clients that will actually do customized meditations as well. If you're in hypnotherapy, this is also a really great way. You can offer a general hypnotherapy session. Music downloads. This is if you are in, sound therapy or energy therapy or frequency therapy, or you just want to help people relax more, you could give people a playlist of music download. Free graphics. So think about, clip art package containing marketing graphics or free photos, or, any type of niche graphics can also be a really, really great gift, particularly if you design or you take these pictures or these photos yourself. So that can also be really fun. Templates. I love templates. Templates are amazing because you can actually copy a template and change it, but the template's there, and that's going to be really, really easy for somebody to use. So templates are always really exciting. Think about templates also in the form of swipe files. So one of the things I give to my clients, and this is actually a bonus, it's not necessarily a freebie, you have to be a client of mine in order to get these, but you get my swipe files, you get my emails on what to send out when. One of the things that I offer is 100 Rockstar email templates. So it'll give you 100 email templates that all you have to do is copy it and tweak a little bit of the wording. So, here are 5 nurture email templates and here are 5 sales email templates. So those are email swipe files and templates that I use in my business. Forms. If you use a lot of forms in your business, then your ideal subscriber might too. So you could repurpose your forms into like generic versions. Think of like one of the things that I did when I was building my health coaching business is I had a toxicity questionnaire. And so that was a great freebie where somebody could fill out the toxicity questionnaire. That was just a reusable form. They could see what their baseline is, where are they, what were the systems that were a little out of balance. That's something that is really helpful as well. The other thing that I don't see, I think I forgot this, so I need to put this on here, is quizzes or assessments. We all love quizzes, right? No matter what it is, what's your, if you lived in a certain place, which place would you be? If you were a tree, what would you be, right? Like we all have these quizzes online that you can take quizzes. So quizzes are really great. And so are assessments. So I want you to think of assessment as helping somebody uncover where they might be out of alignment or stuck in the process to getting their transformation. So sometimes assessments can be free, and you can also charge for assessments as well. Contests are great too. So think about a chance to win a gift card or a free membership or a Kindle Fire or an Amazon card or coffee to Starbucks or whatever. Double check the federal laws regarding your type of contest, but you can also take a look at how you could use a contest to invite people into your ecosystem as well. That goes well when I think about memberships. So like, and I'm not talking about, $47 a month memberships. I'm talking about bringing people into your ecosystem, into your Facebook group. One of the contests that I did last time I ran an event was we played actually a game. It was called Abundance Bingo. And every time somebody got bingo, they would take a screenshot and they would send me the screenshot. And out of all the screenshots, I picked a winner to have a 3-hour VIP day with me. So that was a contest that allowed people to, if you want to win a 3-hour VIP day with me, come into the Facebook group, come enjoy the training, and that is something that you could win. Access to an app. So some of you might be very techie. I'm not. This is not something that I would do because I'm not techie at all, but you could create an app and offer people access in exchange for their email. So you probably see this a lot already. right? Get a 7-day free trial of the app. Like the Calm app gives you a 30-day free trial. Peloton app gives you a 30-day free trial. So there's multiple apps out there that give you an opportunity to try something first before they buy. And that is a really great way, again, to what gives somebody an experience, help them to create a quick win temporarily. And then 21 is access to membership group or archive. So if you have a group going already, maybe a paid group, one of the things that I've seen that works really well is just inviting somebody to come in. Like maybe you have a day where you invite people who are not yet part of the group to come in and experience the group. Or maybe you have a set of archived materials that you want to give them temporary access to. That's something that you can do as well. What we're doing is we want to make sure that we are helping them have an experience. You're going to hear me say that over and over again, because if nobody is having an experience, if they're not walking away with feeling that they've gotten value and they've had some sort of epiphany or aha, there's no reason for them to continue to even go have a conversation with you up on the porch, right? So this is what is these types of free value is designed to help your ideal client self-identify, raising their hand so that they can say, yes, I want that. That would be amazing. And it's going to help you give them value and begin to nurture a relationship with them so that they can have an experience, they can create a quick win. And then ultimately, when it feels right to you and to them, you can then invite them into a conversation up on the front porch. We'll talk about that tomorrow to see which one of the resources you have to support them depending on what it is that they want. Now, sometimes you've got resources that are going to help them. Sometimes you might not have resources, and so you're going to want to refer them to somebody else, and that's okay. I just want you to remember, again, we're going to dive into all of this tomorrow because I know you guys have got some questions about this. The intention of inviting somebody up on your front porch to have a conversation is twofold. It's going to be one, to see if you want to work with them and if you can help them, and to understand what it is that they're looking for and could you support them, and then helping them make an empowered decision. It's not to close the deal. It's not to drag them into one of the offers. It is merely to have some clarity. That's what I call mine clarity calls. These are not discovery sessions. They're not 1 hour long. They are designed to answer specific questions about a program or offer that somebody has already had an experience of. So I don't take somebody from the sidewalk into a clarity call. Somebody, in order to have a clarity call with me, they need to have come and had a seat at a bench or two, had an experience, been in my world, so that I know that there's some level of, they know what it is that I do, and they would like more support around deciding whether what the offer is can actually help them. So I want you to take a look at the sheet and ask yourself, what is one freebie that you could create within the next week that would not take you more than 2 hours to create? And I'm going to go ahead and stop the share just for now and answer any questions that you guys might have around creating your freebie. Now, this is something that I'm going to go in depth into in any of my programs. We actually spend an entire session on creating your freebie. But if you have any questions about whether or not you feel that the freebie that you have is highly converting, or whether your ideal client would want it, or any other questions, now is the time to ask. Who would like support around freebies today, or giving value, or any questions about what I spoke about today? You guys are good? You're ready to go? Ready to create that freebie? Who here has a freebie or free value that they're already putting out in the world? Okay, Christina does. Teresa does.
Yeah, I have one, but like, it's not. There's so much frustration around this whole freebie thing. Like, I've changed it a few times, but it's like a free assessment. It's essentially a free assessment. So it's the, like, they call it the Circle of Life tool that I learned in IIN, where I got trained,
Yeah.
but I created my own version of it is the Health Circle. So I take them through that exercise. Whether that's and then I also added just a like a self-care checklist just as like a little added bonus to it. I don't necessarily know if that's the best first step for a
Mhm.
freebie, and it certainly took me more than 2 hours to put it together because
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
that perfectionist that has to go back to things 20,000 times.
Yeah, I know, right? That's
Um,
so yeah, can I answer it? So here's what I think around I think the assessments are great, but if it requires you to coach them through the assessment, then that's something that I want you to actually put a price tag on, because we don't want to actually get into a free coaching session as a freebie. The reason why is because it requires a lot of time, and a freebie to just bring somebody into your ecosystem, they don't have an experience of know, like, trust with you yet for them to decide that they're going to give you an hour of your time yet. So we can actually take a step back from that. And, the self-care checklist would be great. A self-care resource list would be really great. That would be something, or if they could do a self-care assessment where it would just be a handout and then resources, that would be great. But we don't want it to actually cost you any time to actually deliver that. Any one-on-one time or any time for you to deliver it, you want to put a price tag on.
okay.
Yeah. Do you understand why? Is everybody clear about why we don't want to just lead with free coaching as a freebie? We know it's incredible value, right? But a stranger doesn't understand the value because they don't have enough information yet, and they haven't had enough know, like, trust in order for them to give us 1 hour of their time. That's what we
One
don't
of the
want
things
that.
that I found I was attracting people, even though this isn't necessarily like what I provide as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I like to share sometimes just like in my stories and stuff like that. I like to share how I make like smoothies or like simple
Yeah.
little like protein. You know what? I mean, it is part of the health and wellness, but it's not like I'm more focused on like mindset and mindfulness. But
Mm-hmm.
like I get responses all the time, like, can I get the recipe? So to get them on my email list, I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, if you say it, like, go
Yeah.
to get them in their DMs, whatever, I get their email. And I'm always like cringing too. I'm kind of like, oh my God, are they like, if I ask them for their email, they're going to be like, oh, forget it. But they've always been like, oh my God, thank you. And it's like just for like a recipe. So I'm thinking like, well, how can I translate that into like something that I do serve? You know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
could give them a meditation, but like I haven't recorded any meditations yet. Like I'm
Yeah.
not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
So here's what I would do, Christina. Stay with your smoothies. Honest, and here's why. That's what they're asking for. Like,
yeah,
they're telling you what it is that they
I'm just
want,
trying to get
right?
them on my list. I'm trying
Yeah.
to build my list.
Again,
So,
I want you to think about this as just one bench,
okay.
right? You're just inviting them into your world. We know that they're interested in that. It doesn't mean that you can't offer them a meditation later, right? We can have multiple benches, but we want to go with what it is that we know our ideal clients are actually asking for. And if they're asking, if you're doing something, they're asking you for it, then amazing. Like you could say, as a matter of fact, that was one of the freebies that I did when I was a health coach. I had 5 smoothie recipes, health promoting smoothie recipes for hormone balancing. That was, if people want recipes all the time. So that was an easy yes, right? Is it easy for them to download? Is it easy for them to consume? Would they refer to it over and over again? Yes, like a recipe guide like that checks all those boxes. It also establishes you as the authority. And really what I see here is it's less about the smoothie, and it's more about a mindset issue about whether or not they would actually give you their email, right? That's kind of like the underlying sneaky little thought under there is, are they really going to give me their email? What if they go away? What if I lose a client? Well, guess what? If they don't want it, they can say no. They're big girls, right? We're adults. We can make decisions on our own, right? Like, we can decide whether or not we want to give somebody our email, list or our email in order to get something. Your job isn't to decide whether or not they would give you their email or not. Your job is simply to offer the value. That's it. You're not going to try to convince them to do it. You're going to be like, oh, do you want the smoothie recipe? Great. Here you go. Let me know where to send it. Happy to share it with you. If they don't want to give you their email, okay, no harm, no foul. But they asked for it, right? So Is that helpful at all? I know sometimes we can get stuck up
It is,
here.
because you get I'm so stuck sometimes in like the specific services that I've been working, you know, I don't think about like what impact a smoothie can make on someone's day. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
I know. Well, and the other reason why I want this to be something that's quick and easy to create is because you have so much more value up here than you think. What we think is common sense is not common sense for somebody else, right? Like it's common sense for me. I know broccoli is a carbohydrate. Do you realize how many people out in the world, like 90% of mainstream people, think that a carbohydrate is bread or rice, right? They don't realize that a carbohydrate is actually broccoli, right? So when I had a template, which was also an infographic of a balanced plate that said, this is a protein, these are carbs, and these are like, that was easily downloadable, usable, it was quick to create. It was easy in my mind. I'm like, well, who would really want this? A whole bunch of people want it, because even though it's common sense for me, doesn't mean that it's common sense for them.
Good point.
Yeah. Another idea that I have for you, Christina, is like a manifesto. Have you guys seen like manifestos of like mindset manifestos or 12 mindset paradigms for peace and relaxation? Like that's another really fun one that you could share. Yeah. Cool, cool. Let me just check the chat real quick. I want to, because I think something came through from Jenna. Yeah, I like that you're breaking this all down and relating it to a story, such as with the benches on the sidewalk. Makes so much sense. Yeah, I just feel I might not be ready yet. I need to work on my confidence level. All of this is really making so much sense. Great. So, Jenna, here's what I want to say about that. Confidence doesn't come at a later time. Confidence comes when we just put something together and take action. And confidence grows within the commitment. So I want you to, if any of you are feeling self-doubt, welcome to the club. Right? We all have imposter syndrome. We all start that way. But it's not something like, well, when I feel more confident, then I'll take action. It doesn't happen that way. We have to commit to taking the action first. Then we take the action. Then the confidence comes. So it's okay to feel or to lack confidence right now, but don't mistake the lack of confidence with meaning that you shouldn't take action yet, because that's just not true. The confidence comes in the commitment and in the action. Yeah. Teresa. Hi.
Hi, thank you. It was interesting when Christina was speaking because I kept thinking, I don't know very much about smoothies, but are there certain ingredients that go into the smoothies that could create more clarity or more calm or more mindfulness that you would suggest, oh, this is a great smoothie before you meditate or after you meditate or before you exercise or after you exercise? I don't know, just a thought.
Yes. Oh my gosh, totally. Absolutely. Write that idea down, Christina, right?
Love that. Thank you.
Smoothies with adaptogenic herbs, right? That would calm the nervous
So many
system.
levels to a smoothie. Who knew? That's amazing.
This is why I love community, you guys. The answer is always in the room. Love it so much. Yes.
And I do have a question.
Yeah.
Just curious. I do have an opt-in, but I'm curious about how many freebies we should create. And yeah, because I mean, mine is on my website and I probably don't direct people to my freebie enough. But then I have all these wonderful ideas that kept coming up as we were talking, and I'm thinking, oh, I could do this or I could do that, which I could create more freebies. And so then it's like, is one enough or two too many or three or four? I don't know.
Yeah. This is such a good question, Teresa. Yeah. So let me just say there's not necessarily a certain right amount of freebies. Sometimes you have to put several out there to find the one that's going to convert the best, right? So sometimes that means that we've created several, but you're not necessarily going to put all of them on your website, right? So what I would say is lead with one, promote it enough, maybe you decide that you're going to promote it for a month, and you're going to share it everywhere, and you're going to see, you want to have enough information so that you can get the feedback to see if it's actually converting, if the people that are seeing it are actually downloading it. That's really what we're looking at. How many people are seeing it and then actually downloading it. I love to give value. I seriously have got a lot of freebies, but I don't use them, all at once. I use them depending on, what my offers are, what my marketing plan is, so that I can match a free offer that is going to bring somebody into my world that I know that I can continue to support in another way at a later time. So I think about my benches kind of going together. Now that's how I do it now at my business. That's not the way that I started though. When I first started, I just created things that I thought would be helpful, like a sleep guide for, women in menopause. I had a hard time falling asleep, right? So that was a cheat sheet, get good sleep cheat sheet, right? So that was something that I knew that people wanted. Sacred self-care checklist. That was another thing that I had that many people, got, because again, why? It's easy. It doesn't require a lot of work to do, right? If people think that they're going to have to do a lot of work in actually completing the freebie, they're not going to download it. Right? That's just human psychology. So we don't want to say, these are your 50 ways to get good sleep. These are the, spend 3 hours a day in order to have this XYZ result. We don't want that. We want it to be easy.
My my freebie is 5 ways to, I forget exactly how it's phrased, 5 ways to go from overwhelmed to balance.
We need to make that more specific, because that is really broad for people, right? It's like, it doesn't, that's broccoli. We want to create chocolate, right? To go from overwhelmed to balance is, we want to think about, how to lower your stress response in 2 minutes or less. Now that would be more chocolate, right? Because it's something that they could do quickly. Overwhelm is actually our stress response, or how to feel calm in 2 minutes or less, or 5 ways to feel more calm in 2 minutes or less.
I see.
Right? Those would be more chocolate, because we don't really understand, what does it mean to go from overwhelm to balance? It's too vague. So we want to try to make the titles of our freebies to help somebody remember with a specific result, like solving a piece of the problem. So that would be taking the problem of overwhelm and breaking it down into something smaller, right? Like a atomic habit, micro something that they could take action on now and get results now and have a win now, instead of trying to figure out, well, what do I have to do and how do I need to do it to go from overwhelmed to balance? What does that actually mean?
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I was also really thinking around something along how to find, because with my stuff is, a lot of times people put everybody else first and they don't have any like me time. So I really liked a lot of the things about like self-care and how to bring that in. And it was like, 10 ways to schedule you into your day or something like that.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So see how that's more specific? It's still going to solve a piece of the overwhelm problem, because you're putting yourself on the back burner. I would even put like a time around it, right? Because if people are feeling overwhelmed, they really don't want more to do. So let's make it seem simple and easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good. Christina's asking, is it okay to lead with one on your website, but then send various others as we create them directly to someone from your own email, and then add their email to your list in your EMS? So yes, the answer is yes, it's okay to do that, but it's not optimal. Okay, I would actually, because here's why. It's going to take you time and energy to get their email, to send it to them, then to upload it into your email marketing system. It's easier to just create the landing page or the opt-in page to deliver the lead magnet inside of your email marketing system and share the link from that. I recommend that you do it that way. I don't recommend that you get into the habit of just collecting people's email addresses for you to manually send them the freebie, because at some point it's just, you're not going to be able to keep up with it. It's just, we want to automate it. You don't need to be spending your time sending people freebies, right? We want you to be spending your time on the needle movers, the revenue generators. And that's just not a revenue generator for you to actually be sending it. It's a revenue generator to bring somebody into your ecosystem, yes, but for you to actually be delivering it is not something that we want you to spend a lot of time on. Yeah. And yes, if you have something on your website, just make sure that it is crystal clear that that's the first thing that they see on your website. Because if you're offering them a freebie, if you're saying, hey, this is how you don't want them trying to scroll through your website to find it.
Yeah, I guess I was just asking, like, technology is always where I like end up getting blocked. And my website actually has the email management system built into it. So I guess sometimes it's confusing because if you had a separate email system, you're working in that system, and then you're working over here on the website. So they're clearly separated, but like, it's supposed to make it easier. But sometimes in my head, it's convoluted because
Actually, they talk to each other. They
They
talk
do,
to each other.
yeah, and I'm still learning like how to create the landing pages, because I had someone actually put it together for me. So now like the rest of it as I go, I'm trying to learn how to create those things on my own. So every time I have to, I think about like having to
Yeah.
create a landing page, and like I'm kind of like, oh shit, now I got to go back and like learn how to do that again. And
Yeah.
so,
And then you're like, yeah, Netflix is looking really good tonight, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So here's what I want to share with that. Number one, landing pages are not difficult when you have, a more intuitive system. Like, again, ConvertKit is very intuitive. You can actually, duplicate the landing page and create it again for another one and just like change the text. It's really, really easy. But the other thing is, I know and I get that tech can be overwhelming. In any of my programs, we have monthly tech calls with my online business manager, so that if there's any, I do low tech, I do not do high tech. I'm not about fancy funnels and all of the craziness. We do need to know some tech, which is how to turn on Zoom, right? How to create a Facebook page, how to actually deliver your freebie, how to take payment. Like, those are the low tech pieces that we need to know. But anything around landing pages and things like that, those are things that we absolutely support you with, and I support my clients with in there. But I would say ConvertKit is very intuitive to be able to do that. And I just want to answer your question about your website. So the way that works, it's not difficult. It's just that what you would do is you would take the URL link from your freebie and you would actually put that on make the button on your website. So when they click that button, it goes to that link, goes to that freebie. So that's how you would have it talk to itself, right? So when on the back end of, websites, it would say, where do you want this to go? When you click on this link, when you click download now, where do you want that to go? And you would just switch out whatever it's taking it to right now and put that link from your email marketing system. And that way it's one and done. They click that one, it goes into your email marketing system. It's still your website, but that's how they talk to each other that way. It's not hard. It's actually pretty easy
I'm
to
complicating it because I complicate everything.
Well, that's normal, right? That's part of our brain, right? We tend to overthink, overanalyze, over-rationalize, say that there's a right time, say that, really, we just get to try it and go. That's why when Teresa said how many freebies, like, there really isn't a number. Like, we just want to try it and get it out there and see what happens. If we don't ever try it, then we don't get enough feedback to see if that is something that they want, right? So let's just have an idea, put it out there, put all of the other ideas down in an idea book. That's what I do. I keep an idea book. I'm like, oh, this would be fun, because the truth is, as an entrepreneur, and all of you here are entrepreneurs, we've got a gazillion ideas, right? We're like, oh, that would be fun, and that would be fun, and that would be fun, and that would be fun. And yet we don't necessarily take all of the ideas to fruition, right? We try something for a little bit, and then we're just kind of like, well, maybe let's do this and this. So really what we want to do is try something for long enough time to get the information, to get the feedback before, we go on. But if you already have several made, then an idea that I would love to share with you, and this is what I do and my clients do, is every Friday we do Freebie Friday. So we would just share a different freebie, on a Friday. And, if you've got 2 or 3 or 4, you could just circle those, for your month. So on week 1, it's your smoothie recipe. And on week 2, it's your meditation. And on week 3, it would be something else. And that way you could just kind of see. Yeah. So there's lots of different ways that we can do that. Cool. Jenna, do you have any other questions? Or Michelle, do you have any other questions about creating value and how to deliver it? So this next piece I want to share is how do we actually deliver this? And that really is through your email marketing system. So if you don't have an email marketing system right now, that really is a foundational piece that you need to have in your business. And it doesn't have to be expensive. I think ConvertKit is like $25. And I am not an affiliate for ConvertKit, by the way. Like, I'm not going to give you a link that I make commission on. It's just what I use, and it's what I recommend because I used it for many, many years. Now I'm using something different, but that's because it's a membership and everything all in one. And I have a bigger business, so I need something that's more abundant in what it does for me. But ConvertKit is great to start, but you absolutely need an email marketing system, and you need a way to take payment. And I also recommend that you have a scheduling system. Those are the 3 main systems that you absolutely want to have that are critical foundations in order for you to run a profitable and a sustainable business. Yeah. Any other questions before I share this next piece with you? Jenna, did you have any questions? No, it's my desktop. No, I don't want that. Just a minute.
I had asked a question in the chat.
Oh, Jenna, no current questions. I'm enjoying being a sponge at the moment. Thank you. Yay, awesome. Did you have another question?
This is Teresa. I had asked a question. When you were speaking with Christina, you had said that you link the freebie.
Yep.
So like when they sign up, the button, you link it. I have it set up so that when they sign up, they get sent an email and the link is in the email to the freebie.
So
I'm curious about the reason for doing it one way versus the other.
Yeah, it's actually, we're seeing the same thing. So when they click on the actual button to download the freebie, they still have to put their name and email address in, right? And then they get an email that has the actual download sent to them. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We're saying the same thing. Yeah.
So I do have it set up.
Yeah,
the way you
exactly.
were saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for
totally.
that.
Yeah. Totally. That's exactly right. Cool. All righty. Any other questions? Cool. All right. So I wanted to just share with you guys, I know that you got this in the email, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we are starting our new cohort for 6-figure foundations in November. So we're starting this on November 9th. This is a 12-week done with you program. This is not where you're just going to download a whole bunch of modules and try to figure it out on your own. This is actually me working with you for 12 consecutive weeks. And I really want to scroll down here because this is everything that's inside it so that you can see exactly what we're going to be working on over the course of the 12 weeks. On week 1, we're going to be working on our mindset, right? Because we know that unless we're working from an abundant mindset, we're not actually going to be able to be the abundant 6-figure leader that we are and actually take the actions that are going to help us get the results that we want. So week 1, we're going to dial in on the abundant mindset. On week 2, we're going to be talking about creating your 90-day sacred self-care plan and your golden hour. And this is actually a really cool needle mover so that you are not only creating your ideal work week, but you know what to focus on that are revenue generating activities in a golden hour within your business. Week 3, we're going to dive in more to your ideal ready yes client. So again, we know who they are and which ones are actually going to, invest with you. Week 4, we're going to uncover your unique brilliance. So there is something very special about each and every one of you that is going to allow you to be a standout leader in your field. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is with a special bonus that I give everybody inside of Six Figure Foundations. It's called Branding with Archetypes. And it is a quiz that you're going to get to take so that you uncover what are your top 2 branding archetypes. And it is going to tell you the words to use that are going to attract your ideal client. You are all unique. I'm unique too. People are going to be attracted to me because the archetype that I represent. Your ideal clients are going to be attracted to you because of the archetype that you represent, because they're going to want more of who it is that you are. So we need to uncover what that is for you so that you know what words to use, what messaging to use, so that you can be a standout leader in your field and not just be a copycat and try to copycat everything. You're going to know exactly how you just get to be authentically you. In week 5, we're going to create your 6-figure business model. In order to get to 6 figures, we need to have a plan. We need to know what your 2 core offers are and what your bite-size offer are so that you can actually hit 6 figures. And this is one of the mistakes that I see a lot of coaches, making a mistake and not having this dialed in, is they might want to make 6 figures, but they really don't have a business model to actually help them get there. Either they're not charging enough, or they don't have core offers, or they just haven't even thought about and done the numbers to see if they can actually get there. We're also going to create your 6-figure signature system. And this is one of the things that a profitable business, especially a 6-figure business, cannot be without. This is your proprietary process. This is what is going to allow you to take the weight off of your shoulders and sell yourself. And instead, you get to make your signature system the hero. Why? Because while people are going to love you and your ideal clients are absolutely attracted to you, what is going to help them say yes to working with you is knowing that you have a very specific series of steps to help them go from Pain Island to Pleasure Island. And this is your 6-figure signature system. This is a proprietary process, and this is what we map out for you so that we can help your ideal clients see why you are the best one to help them, because you have a series of steps, you have a signature system that you're going to take them through. The other amazing thing about having a 6-figure system is that it 10x's your opportunities. It's going to allow you to talk about a 6-figure system either in a workshop like this, or an in-person talk, or write a book, or create a program. Your 6-figure system really is absolutely amazing, and it's been a game changer for many, many of my clients. We also want to create a profit plan. So we want to know for you specifically over the course of 90 days, we break profit plans into 90 days, exactly what you're going to offer within each quarter so that you know you're actually going to hit your financial goals. We're also going to teach you how to create cash flow. Who doesn't want to know how to create cash flow on demand every time you need it, right? Right. We're like, yeah, this is amazing, but I need to create cash. Great. This is what you're going to learn. How do you create cash on demand anytime you need it? There's a difference between creating cash and having a cash infusion in your business and building long-term sustainability and profitability. 2 very, very different things. Creating a cash flow is a short-term strategy. I'm going to teach you exactly what to do so that you can create 1K, 2K, 3K, 5K, 10K, however much you want in 30 days or less, depending on the offer that you choose. And I help you create that. In week 9, we're going to dive in again to where to find your ideal clients that you can reach out to for this cash flow. So you can create a cash infusion. We're going to again dial in where you're going to have my ears, my brain, my eyes, my heart with you on your business so that you walk away with a freebie that converts. Week 11, we're going to talk about building your community. So I think it was Teresa or Christina yesterday that was asking me about Facebook groups. This is where we're going to learn about how do you actually build a community and bring people into a place that people can land in your ecosystem. And then in week 12, we're going to talk about celebrations and next steps so that you can decide the level of support that you want or what you're going to do with all of this information, and make sure that you have a repeatable system and process so that you can create the goals and hit the goals that you want. And then we have a couple bonus classes. One is the soul of your brand that I just told you about. That's a whole VIP day. You're going to walk away knowing exactly what are your top 2 archetypes, what attracts clients to you, what is the soul of your brand, and you're even going to walk away with some assets that are on brand. So we're going to talk about that as well, and you're going to learn that in that whole half day. Jenna, I offer this course a couple times a year, so we're probably not going to be offering this one again until later next spring. The reason why I offer it right now at this time of year is because if you want to make any type of income starting in January, you have to have these pieces dialed in. You have to have these pieces dialed in now. If you wait until January before you have a profitable plan, core offers, freebies, you are behind the game. I want you to get these dialed in before January so that you know exactly what to do, and you can actually start bringing clients in now, because people are going to register for your programs and your offers in November and December. Absolutely. If you wait until January, you're behind the game. So all of these are going to help you dial in on those foundations so that you can really kick off Q1 in 2024 as absolutely amazing. And when you enroll by October 31st, which is of course at the end of this month, you're going to get 3 additional months of Q&A calls, which means, and this is the first time I've ever offered this, so I've never offered this before, where you actually get 6 months of support for the price of 3. So it's a 12-week program, but after the 12 weeks are over, you can still stay in the community and come and show up for the monthly live Q&A calls. I call these implementation calls, so that you have continued support to implement what it is that you learned. Now, the standard investment of this program is actually $4,997. But until tomorrow night at midnight, you can get it for $2,997. So you get $2,000 off. That is for those of you that are like, I know I need to do this. I want to get this going. I'm a fast action taker. I'm all in. So it's either one payment of $2,997, or you can make 3 payments of $1,200. And then we also have these great bonuses. So in addition to the Soul of Your Brand VIP day and the systems call, where we go behind the scenes and we talk about how to actually set up your email marketing system, your payment system, and your scheduling system, you get, if you decide that you pay in full, you get a whole 1-hour fast track strategy session with me so that we can get you going right now with confidence and clarity. You're also getting a 10-module marketing and copywriting course that converts with my personal marketing and copywriter. So we have an entire module there for creating content that converts. And I'm also giving you free access to the Cash Flow Accelerator bundle. That is actually an entire 5-session bundle that is going to help you learn how to create cash quickly. So while we're absolutely going to be talking about that inside of Six Figure Foundations, you're also going to get a course that you can refer to anytime you need it. We're also going to give you the templates that I told you about earlier, the 100 leads to your list, so that you can actually add 100 leads to your list in 30 days. You're also going to get an abundance journal and 103 Facebook group posts for a highly engaged community. So all of this juiciness, again, I want to give you what it is that you need so that you have the foundations for a 6-figure business. Okay, so you can absolutely grab that, grab your spot. By the way, we're only taking 15 people into this. There's a reason why I keep these small. It's because you have direct access to me. This is not a team member doing it. I want to make sure that you've got wraparound support. I want you to know that for the 12 weeks that you're with me in this program, you've got my eyes, you've got my ears, you've got my brain, and you've got my heart with you on your business, so that you know exactly what to do, when to do it, and you actually implement it, because we know that if we don't implement, nothing changes. If you want more support with me, if you want to add on extra one-on-one support with me, I've got 5 spots available for that, and you can certainly, take a look at that. So I am going to go ahead and just copy this and stop sharing for now, and I'm just going to pop it in the chat. That way, if you want to take a look at what is included, you can absolutely do that. It is also going out to your email so that you can see what's included inside of 6-Figure Foundations. If you're unsure, if you're not sure whether or not this is the best fit for you right now where you are, please reach out to me and let's have a conversation. You already know that I am not interested in trying to persuade you to work with me. I will not do that. Honestly, I don't want to work with you if you don't want to work with me. I want you to be like all in. Those are the types of clients that work best with me, because I can't jump inside your body and do your work for you. So I want you all in. But if you're unsure, whether six-figure foundations or one-on-one support, or maybe even Activate Abundance. If when you're in Activate Abundance, you get six-figure foundations for free, you get all of this for free. So if you're looking for a larger container where you actually have a whole year of support, I'm happy to share with you, what that could look like too. But hop on a clarity call with me so I can help you make an empowered decision. Again, this is me offering you to come sit up on my front porch with me to just have a conversation to see if any of the resources that I have can support you. And if I don't have what I think that you need, I will absolutely refer you to a colleague or somebody else who can actually help you get what it is that you want. That's the way that I roll. That's the way that I run my business. And I would love to support you if you like that type of support and you like that type of container. So any questions for me today before, again, tomorrow we're going to talk about invitations. We're going to be talking about, how to have those, conversations that feel really good and aligned without needing to try to close the deal or make the sale. Any questions that I can answer for you now? I know Jenna asked me how often do I offer six-figure foundations? I offer it just a couple times a year. And again, it is designed, it's 12 weeks, so it's not a year, but it is a 12-week container to get you dialed in on those foundational pieces of your business that are critical for having a six-figure business. It's going to be really hard for you to hit six figures if you don't have these pieces dialed in. Yeah. Any questions for me? No questions? You guys are good? Good for today? Feeling complete for today? Cool. What is one aha, insight, golden nugget, epiphany, something that you're taking away with you about freebies? I would love to hear one aha, epiphany, golden nugget.
Mine is that I think I'm giving too much value away for free and that I underestimated the power of the smoothie.
Yes, the power of the smoothie. Absolutely. You know what I did, Christina, when I first started my business and I first started getting brave enough to do Facebook Lives and actually be seen on video, I actually did how to create a healthy smoothie and not a sugar bomb. And you didn't even see my face. You just saw the stuff that I'm putting in and all of the ingredients in the very, very beginning. Yeah, no specific questions. Keep it simple. Be specific and keep it simple. I'm sorry, it's Jenna's. Absolutely. Teresa said, need to be more specific. Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay. That's part of the process, but that is why we have mentors, right? I mean, one of the things that I can share is that if I did not have mentors that were able to read the label on the outside of the bottle for me, that I could actually share and put information out and get feedback on, that's what allows you to stay in the game. So, one of the obstacles that I talk about to success is actually trying to lone wolf it and try to piece it together on our own. You can certainly do that, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of time. And we tend to overthink, overanalyze, procrastinate, not take action, have too many ideas, and we just don't go where we need to go. And when you've got mentorship, especially when you have access to the actual coach where you can get your questions answered, it is absolutely going to help you collapse the timeline and create momentum that you want to create if you want a six-figure business. Oh, you're welcome, Jenna. You're so welcome. My pleasure. Yeah. What is the aha from Miss Michelle? Are you still with us, Michelle?
Yes, I am actually.
Yay! How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. Did you have any questions or any ahas that you want to share with us?
Let me think. I've had a long, busy day. I'm a little bit tired.
Right. I know it's late where you are. Are you in the UK?
Well, in the UK, so it's 10:20 in the evening at the moment. So I think I have nothing set up as yet, so I don't have email list. I don't have any people. I'm literally starting from scratch. So I think I quite like the idea of the free journal, but then I'm not entirely sure how long to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. So free journals, you can actually, if you go into Canva, you can actually, in their template, you can click on templates and just click on journals, and they'll give you a whole bunch of different ones. And you can, some of them actually have questions already in it, and you can kind of customize and decide.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's a great idea. And thank you for being here so late at night. It's really great to have you here.
You're
Thank you for
welcome. Thank
carving out
you.
this time to be here.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, ladies, thank you for your time. I know we went a little bit over today. We will be back here tomorrow to talk about inviting people to work with you. Again, if you don't invite people to work with you, they don't know how it is that you can support them. And that is also a way that we just have to do it. But there's a way that you can do that that doesn't feel slimy or icky or, just so uncomfortable, right? It's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable when we first start because it's outside of our comfort zone. But really, when we don't invite people to work with us, it's because we're making it about us and not the support that they need. We're feeling uncomfortable. We're afraid of what they might think about us, right? And that is actually abandoning somebody on Pain Island. And so we're going to talk about the mindset of heart-centered sales tomorrow, and also how you can do it in a way that feels really, really good for you. So please come back tomorrow. All right. Have a great day, ladies. And don't forget to reach out if you want a clarity call with me about six-figure foundations. Happy to support you in that.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome.